Hey, welcome in everybody. I just want a little state just from the start off, get go. I am a little bit ill while I'm doing this video, so I do apologize just in advance. But let's go ahead and jump into it. This is the Necromancer Healer. Um, this is a PvE healer for dungeons, hard mode dungeons, and you probably could get away with it in trials. That also being said, note that certain trial groups will want you to run certain sets. In terms of the loadout, it probably would not change from this to trial. But obviously sets vary because you got to bill for group compensation, as that's what the group comp is demanding. So just take that into consideration. So let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? So as you can see, obviously I'm a Khajiit. Khajiit isn't necessarily a needed race for this. You can be an Argonian, you can be a Breton, you can be a High Elf. You can pretty much probably be whatever you really wanted to. Just take that in note that your attributes will change and your Mundus stone may vary and may change. I built mine around a Khajiit. The reason why is because I'm switching all of my tunes to a Khajiit. So therefore, all of my builds are going to be centered around Khajiits from now on. That's just where I'm at with it. I'm kind of tired of all these different races where if I can just have that flat 12% crit hit damage and crit healing, uh, I'm going to take it. Excuse me. So, let's go ahead and jump in. So as you can see, we got 46 into mag, we got 18 into stamina. That takes my magical pool up to 22,659, and my stamina pool up to 18,500. Bear in mind that we've not got complete golded out yet, so these will actually increase even more. And we got a solid 25k health, which is insane. Obviously, I'm taking the shadow for that further 17% in PVE. As you can see here, it gives us 17%. That applied with racial passives from the Khajiit tree, that takes us up to 29% critical damage and critical healing. So it really tricks our critical healing up, which is in turn making all of our heals way, way stronger. So super, super solid, super, super nice. In terms of my weight ratio and gear, we are in one heavy, we're in one, two, three, four light, and then I'm in two medium. In terms of my gear itself, so this is the fun bit. So obviously we take Symphony of Blades. Symphony of Blades is what I chose to go with. That being said, you can opt out and change this for either Sentinel Regrams, or you can change it for the Bogdan Night Flame set. That would be another good option. I think both of them other options are very solid options for healers. But I just took Symphony of Blades because I just figured it's just best in slot for my preference. I really love this set as a healer. I think it's probably the best one out there in my personal opinion. Um, the next set that we're using is Phoenix Moth. So what Phoenix Moth actually does is it's actually very interesting. So it says healing yourself or an ally grants the target increasing their weapon and spell damage by 215 and their critical damage done by 10%. So we're already at 29% ourselves, right? And we also get this buff. So we take our critical damage done to 39% on this build, which is just barbaric for a healer. So that means that all of our heavy attacks are going to do way more pressure damage. So it's super, super solid. It's super nice. And our dots will do a little bit more damage. Unnerving Boneyard will do a bit more damage and stuff. So, like, yeah, it's really, 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 really strong. Super nice, super cool. There is a 12-second cooldown, so bear that in mind. Our other set, what we're running on the front bar, um, well, on the back bar you would call it, as your front bar is your restra, um, is Spell Power Cure. So Spell Power Cure is this very, 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 very solid um healer set. Okay, most groups want Spell Power Cure just for the fact that it offers major courage for 5 seconds, increasing their weapon and spell damage. So we're getting this every 5 seconds without fail. Okay, so we're always up with major courage, but then every 12 seconds we're getting major courage and minor courage plus minor force, which is huge. So I'm giving the group 3 buffs every 12 seconds, right? Which is really, really dumbfounded. Plus, they're also getting Meridia's favor. If they drop the resources below the 50% of the primary resource, they get flooded with the Magicka or Stamina every 1 second for the 6 seconds. So I'm actually giving them a lot of sustain too, which makes this build just a junkie of just increasement of damage. I'm really surprised that there's not been trial groups out there what have run something like this if they needed more damage, because this build is just barbaric at this point. I mean, sure, I could have went with um Master's Architect or something like that for the Force, but realistically, I just think this one will proc more, and the other one relies on spending your ultimate, which you don't always want to spend, right? You sometimes you want to save it. So that is what it is. In terms of our CP, let's go ahead and jump into our CP. So CP, I'm running Focus Mending. This is just increasing my healing done just overall by a flat 10%. Obviously, Swift Renewal. This is increasing my healing done for all my overtime effects. So that will increase my renewing underneath. It will increase my radiating regeneration. It will also increase my illustrious healing, and it will also increase my Sanguine altar and also my Mortal Core. If I morphed Necrotic Orb to the Healing Orb, it would increase that too. But we're probably going to stick to the DPS one just to help with a little bit extra damage. As we got all that extra crit damage, I may as well just feed into the damage one when I go to morph it. That's just my personal opinion. So yeah, we got that. That's nice. I take Salve of Renewal. The reason why I take Salve of Renewal is whenever I remove a harmful effect from myself or an ally, I sanctify the ground beneath them, healing all them and all the allies within that 8 meter for 1,397 health, and that can happen every 10 seconds. So as you can see, that's a 6.4k heal every time that is occurring once every 10 seconds. See, now the thing is, what makes that actually work into this build is renewing underneath. As you can see here, consumes a corpse on cast to immediately remove up to 3 negative effects. Continue to heal you and your allies for a further 6.6k, right? Over 5 seconds. So, if we look at this, okay, this is every 10 seconds, and that lasts for 5 seconds. So when this does proc, they're getting automatically a 6.5k heal, right? Burst heal from this, and then they're getting a 6.6k heal over the next additional 5 seconds, right? Every 10 seconds, providing that they have a negative effect on them, and it gets cleansed. And this automatically cleanses people. Whenever I put this down, it just automatically cleanses. They don't have to synergize. They don't have to do any of that. It just automatically cleanses them. Which makes that absolutely 100% insanely useful. Excuse me. And then I take cleanse and revival. Let me just have a little quick drink, real quick, guys. I apologize. So yeah, we take cleanse and revival. Healing a target under 25% health removes all harmful effects from them. So the reason why I take this as well is when people do drop below really low health and they need that super handy stuff, at least then if they are under some kind of poison or some kind of negative effect and they're at 25% health, they're just going to get that removed from them. That also, having this and with this, can actually proc this. Okay, so it doesn't matter, right? That I have two removals. It doesn't matter. Like the reality of it is if they're below 25% health and I hit regenerative regeneration, right? I don't have to hit a cleanse. Where set up with renewal, you physically have to cleanse. Does that make sense? So even with cleanse and revival, I don't have to have a cleanse. So like if I really need to just go and hit them with a combat prayer because their health is like 20%, and I'll go and hit them with that combat prayer to burst their heal right back up and their health bar back up. At least then, if they have a negative effect, they're still going to be cleansed from that. So it's super nice, super handy. It's just overall nice to have. Red tree. I take rejuvenation. This is just base recovery for mag stam and health. I take that. That takes my mag recovery up to 1200. Health is at 509, and then my stam recovery is at 1407. So it helps. Is it needed? Probably not necessarily, but it still helps. Survival instincts. I take this. This is just 25% reduced cost reduction overall across the board. Super nice to have. Then we take fortified. Fortified is just giving me additional armor, which is increasing my resistances just a little bit, which is just nice to have and just super handy. And then we take celerity. Extra 10% movement speed. Why not? Green tree. So with a green tree, I take Steve's blessing. That's an extra 20% movement while I'm not in combat. Give me 2 seconds. I do apologize. I'm like fighting some like bacterial virus at the moment, so I do apologize. Rationer, that increases my food by 30 minutes. Super nice to have. Treasure hunter, just whenever we find chests throughout dungeons, trials, super nice to grab. Just free loot, free stuff. And then I take homemaker. Reason why I take homemaker, same principle, cabinets, stuff like that. Get the extra furnishing plan, sell it, extra money, stuff like that. So that's super nice. But that is pretty much the build. Oh, bread and butter of the build is we take the asylum restoration staff. I do not have the perfected. If you do have the perfected, I recommend taking it. I used to have a perfected, but obviously that was before sticker book came into play, and I've just not got around to finding groups to be able to run some VAS because no one wants to run it anymore, sadly. On PCNA, there are groups out there, but like them groups are dedicated. They've stayed as that same group throughout the dawn of time, and trying to find groups willing to allow people to step in and take place from time to time. It's just not a thing anymore, sadly. So it is what it is. I'm not worried. There's not really a lot of difference between the two. If I go over here, if I go over here, and then we go over to trials, asylum, sanctorium, Scroll all the way down. As you can see, Perfected Asylum, you get an 846 max mag. That is literally all you're getting. So, realistically, it's not a big, oh no, I'm losing 846 max mag. Like, who cares, dude? At that point. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. It's not too worried about, okay? So, yeah. I hope you enjoy it. Go and try it out for yourself. um, you know, let's jump into the skills before I do go. Because you all need them, right? Nearly forgot about them because I'm ill. But yeah, here we go. Healer bar. Renewing underneath. As I say, solid. It consumes a corpse, right? It puts healing on the ground. It also immediately heals the people. Okay. So I'm healing people for 6k. And then they got a 6.6k. If they are under negative effects, they're automatically getting a 12.5k heal because they're going to get salved with the renewal. Okay. Procced with that 6k. That's 12.5k. And then they'll get that further 6.6k for the 5 seconds. Super strong. Super nice. It's a big AoE as well. Like, how big is it? 8 meters? So, yeah, absolutely insane. So, they're both 8 meters, which is huge. So, that works hand in hand. It's fantastic. Our main burst heal. This is a heal what you should be using the most. Obviously, there's a lot of people in this game what just don't understand how to stack, and them people are gonna be your worst enemy. Sadly, people are just fucking dumb and they don't want to stack. But if people actually understood the mechanism of stacking, they would understand that they would be way more stronger and get through content way easier because they're gonna get all the additional buffs what healers provide. Okay, and people just gotta start to really understand that. But you know, that's like preaching to the choir, and the choir will never hear you because they're singing off the top of their lungs. Okay, so it is what it is. Next ability, radiate and regeneration. This just goes to me and up to 3 group members. It's a nice tick of healing over time over the next 10 seconds. It's just super nice to have, and it's handy to throw into the rotation. Lustrous healing. This is the ground AoE. It's an 8-meter radius, so that goes in hand with renewing as well. Same size pattern, so it's really nice that it's the same size. Plus, it heals people for 18.7k health over 15 seconds. So it's a lot of healing going into people, and it's super nice. We do take intensive mender. What this does is you conjure a little ghostly spirit to do your bidding. Stay by your side for 8 seconds. The spirit heals you or the lowest ally around you, and it restores about 4k health to the other target and the 2 allies near them. So, the fact that it's healing only 2 people, right, with the main tether, it's okay because it's still healing allies near them. So, in theory, if you like, say it's tethered to me, right? Say it's tethered to me, and these bushes, well, the bush and the pillar is like 2 other people, and that's healing me. It's going to heal both of them too. So super, super nice to have. Super, super nice. Super handy. I do take renewing animation just for the quick res. This is optional. Realistically, providing on what you're trying to do, that might come very handy. The other one, what you could run is obviously Warhorn, which for some reason didn't have. And then you would take a Grest Warhorn there instead. Okay. Um, the reason why I'm not running Warhorn, and this is another reason. So in a trial group, because I would be a necro, they would probably want Colossus from me rather than Warhorn. So therefore, I would probably still stick to what I had, um, because you know, it's just what they would want, and I'd probably be in a jawbold setup of some type. So we got that major vulnerability to stack longer. You know, that's probably what they would probably want me to do. But yeah, just for the nature of this video, obviously renewing animation, you could go with Warhorn. You could run Bastion if you really wanted to do with the barrier. Yeah, not Bastion, sorry. Barrier. Um if you're gonna take barrier, I would take replenishing because it gives you your ultimate back rather than having that extra healing what you don't typically need with the build. So yeah. Let's jump onto the front the back bar. Um with the back bar I got necrotic orb. Um, it's just magic damage. If your friends synergize this, they can restore their main resources, whether that be mag or stam. So that is super nice to do. Obviously, we say blockade of frost. This is just adding minor breach to the group, to the enemies. It's helping the tank keep minor breach on enemies and whatever else. On top of that, it's also reducing the speed, also helping the tank be able to collect all the ads nice and effectively. That also being said, it's mainly there for the projectile absorption damage shield, what you get from it. So if you see me here and I go boom, go ahead and get rid of that. Um, we get this like little weird frost shield, right? So that is proper handy in trials and stuff, and even in dungeons. It's just super handy, super nice. So yeah, we take that. Next skill on our list, Sanguine Altar. This is the bread and butter for any healer. You can take the overflowing altar if you choose to. I just prefer Sanguine. It's cheaper, doesn't cost as much to put down, and I think the extra duration time just outweighs the synergy of the other one. That's just my personal opinion. I just think it's just better. Unnerving Boneyard. So this is super nice. This is applying major breach and minor vulnerability. Okay, so on this build, let's talk buffs real fast. So I'm getting minor breach from Blockade of Frost. I'm then getting minor lifesteal from Sanguine. We're getting a major breach and minor vulnerability from Boneyard. And then from Pestilence Colossus, we're getting major vulnerability. So I'm applying major minor and major breach, minor lifesteal on this one build, which is absolutely insane. That's 5 buffs what we're applying to all the enemies around us and all the enemies what we have to try and kill. That is a ton of buffs with this build. Okay, it's this build is insane. I'm super happy with how it turned out. It's fun to play. It's just overall really solid. Our next ability. Oh, before I move on to that one, with Unnerving Boneyard, allies can also synergize this as well. Synergizing is kind of key when you're in dungeons and trials. And the reason why is because you're undaunted passives, right? So, like, if we look at undaunted passives, as you can see here, synergizing restores health, magic, and stamina for 4% of whatever it is. I think it goes up to 6%, right? So it's worth synergizing. Okay, we're a little low on our undaunted. I need to work on them a little bit more. Um, but it's worth doing your synergies. Okay, don't ever sleep on synergies. You ever see a synergy pop up, you synergize it. Synergize it, man. I promise you, it will make you sustain more. You know, you're gonna sustain more. Like the group will benefit from it. Like everyone benefits from using synergies. Like this game is built around synergies originally. So like, yeah, use your synergies. Okay. And our last ability here is Mortal Coil. So Mortal Coil, all this does is whenever there's a dead corpse, I can hit this, and it's gonna heal um for 15,498 health over 12 seconds. And that also goes to me and any ally between me and that tether. So this is what I was saying with stacking. If people stack, because the healer's at the back of the pack, right? So if we were stacking and I hit that tether and that tether's going through the whole entire group, they're all gonna get all of this, which is just super nice, super 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 nice. The only thing what they won't get is the magicka and stamina every 2 seconds while siphoning the corpse. That's only going to apply to me. But that is just nice overall. Also, with this being slotted, I'm increasing my healing done by 3%, regardless to whether if it's on both bars or on one bar. It just has to be on the one bar. So I'm getting 3% across the board whenever I'm healing. So super nice, super, super strong. And then obviously, like I say, Pestilent Colossus. So that is the build. I hope you generally enjoy it. I hope you try it out for yourself. Let me know down below. I'm apologizing beforehand and afterhand that I was ill while doing this video. I do apologize. Um, I've kind of postponed all my video making for the last like 3 or 4 days, and sadly, I need to get back on it because we're not going to grow unless we put out more YouTube content and whatever else. So yeah, have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.